Eso prima. Welcome. Hi, everybody. All right, I am live on Instagram and Facebook. Welcome to a brand new Zen Mondays. My name is Stephanie, and we are getting started today. Sí, Andrea Dorada, qué rico verte, prima. Qué rico, qué emoción. Okay, so today's Zen Mondays. As everybody gets settled, we're going to be on for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And I have such a fun topic to talk to you today. And it's all about doing the work. What does it mean when I talk about doing the inner work? And what it's like to get into the flow. Let me turn this down so I don't get distracted with all this music today. Okay, so the focus today is a topic that I love and I'm really excited to share because I talk often about doing the inner work and really focusing on whatever it is that is making us feel like we're dragging down or we're not feeling productive. And then once you do the inner work, it's getting into the flow. So also, what does it mean to get into the flow? And what can you do to start getting into the flow and getting the results that you want in your life? So we're gonna jump right in. I see a few people on Facebook. I know, it's such a good song. It's Megan Trainor. La canción se llama No Excuses. No Excuses, Megan Trainor. All right, so let's get started. So the first step I shared with you today is what does it mean to do the inner work? So all the inner work means is look at whatever is bothering you in your life, whatever is dragging you down, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's anything that's going on in your life that doesn't feel good. And instead of ignoring it, and sometimes we ignore those things by either eating or watching TV or drinking, whatever it is, it's look at whatever's bothering you and whatever's dragging you down in that moment and really peel down the layers of the onion so you can get to the bottom of it and then release that resistance and find your happiness again. So let's break that down a little bit more. So I'm gonna give you the example. I've heard a lot with my private coaching clients about being in a job that doesn't really fulfill them. So I think that's such a juicy topic because even though, I was in that situation for many years, and even right now, having my own business, I still catch myself not feeling really excited for what I'm doing. Hi, everybody. Welcome, Eric. Welcome. I know it's the beginning for everybody that's joining in. I'm going to continue, but today's topic is doing all the inner work and then how do you get into the flow. So I was saying before, I want to give you the example. We're going to start first by sharing with you guys what it's like to do the inner work. So the example that I was sharing is a lot of people lately, and I've heard a lot of my private clients about not being fulfilled doing what they want to be doing or doing what they're currently doing. So the first thing is to say that's a statement. You have not been doing what you love to do. Think about something in your life that you're not happy with. So I just want to give you an example. It's so important to give examples so that way you have something to relate to and it's not just a bunch of concepts. So with the example about not feeling fulfilled in what you're doing, after you know that and that's the situation and you're like, okay, that's the biggest thing that is dragging me down right now, then you have a couple of things to do. Start thinking about, is it your boss? Is it your manager that you're not happy with? Is it the responsibilities that you're doing in your job that you're not feeling fulfilled? Or is it maybe the values of the company that you work at that don't really match your own values? So at least you want to start like investigating, like what is that thing that I'm not really, like within my job, what is the main thing that's not making me happy? So then, okay, let's say you narrow it down and it's not really your manager. You're not crazy about your manager, but it's not really your manager. You're fine doing the responsibilities that you're currently doing, but you realize, you know what? The values of the company that I'm working at are not really meeting my own values. So you pinpoint and you go all the way down and you realize that's the thing that is really making me not feeling fulfilled. The company that I work for has really different values than my own values. And I guess it's such a easy example for me to share because that's something that was the last thing I realized, that the company's not going to change. So now once you realize like it's different values, you have a choice to make. Do you want to continue staying in that company because you still need to make money, or let's say there's an aspect within that company that is really important for you to stay at? Or do you make a choice and you say, you know what, I'm no longer willing to work with a company where our values are so different, then I need to start looking for a new job. So that's where I talk about the inner work. It's the fact that you're not ignoring the things that are dragging you down. You're actually going like face to face with them, and you're like, okay, I'm over the fact that I hate my job. So instead of complaining every day, I hate my job, I hate what I'm doing, I'm not happy, get a little honest with yourself. And that's why I think a lot of times people glamorize the whole idea of doing the inner work, like, oh, I'm doing the inner work. And even though, depending on what kind of inner work you're doing, it might be easier or not. For the most part, it's not. In that moment, when you come face to face with that realization that I need to look into what's not making me happy, the inner work is not necessarily fun. It can actually be really hard because you have to be really honest with yourself. It's not about blaming other people. It's about shifting that energy and turning it back onto yourself. And not blaming yourself, but again, being honest. So you figure out, okay, in the example of the company that I was sharing with you, you figure out it's the values of the company that are no longer aligned with my own values. And then you give yourself, like, what are the next steps? All right, I'm gonna start sending out my resume. I need to polish my resume. I'm gonna start looking for companies. The inner work doesn't stop once you, seguro prima, I love you. The inner work doesn't stop when you realize what's been dragging you down. I love you, sis. There's so much good stuff. I know, I keep getting distracted by all these amazing comments. Okay, so the inner work doesn't stop once you realize whatever the thing is. So the example of the company. So you realize, okay, this is not the company. So, oh, the inner work has stopped. No, because then you realize, okay, I want to start looking for another job. Then I have to do my resume. I need to start telling people that I'm looking for other jobs. It may take a few weeks, a few months until you're out of the situation. And during those few months, you're still doing the inner work every single day. So another example is if you're in a relationship and let's say you're going through something difficult in the relationship. Okay, that is part of the inner work. That's where every day you're gonna ask yourself, okay, I've been in this relationship, I'm not happy, or I'm going through a tough time in this relationship. I can either ignore my relationship and pretend it's not happening, and we know the ignoring is really not gonna make anything easier, or you can just say, you know what, this is what's going on in my relationship. I am not happy, instead of blaming the other person, because of course, a lot of times the other person in a relationship is to be blamed. But in this case, what can I do in the meantime? Like, this is my inner work. That person, like your spouse, is also doing their work. You can trust that they're doing their work. But in that moment, what can I do in that moment that's gonna bring to the relationship? So this is something that I actually caught myself thinking a few weeks ago with my husband. I won't get into too many details, but I caught myself thinking like, oh, he needs to be doing this, and all these things. And at that point, I got so focused on the things that he wasn't doing, but that's also not fair, because what about me? What am I not doing? What am I not bringing? And how can I take responsibility for whatever situations we're going through? So any of that, like whatever it is, so to give you an overview, and then I'll move on to how do you get into the flow. But to give you an overview of what is to do the inner work is to basically look at what is the one thing in my life that I'm most unhappy with. My relationship, my job, I guess any kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, or my fitness, nutrition, my health. What is the one thing in my life that I'm most unhappy with? And how can I take responsibility for those things? What do I need to start doing today and every day in order to bring that happiness back into my life? Which is why the inner work never ends. Because today, it might be your job, it might be your spouse. A month from now, it might be your nutrition, there might be your kids. So this is almost like that spiritual journey that we then do every single day. The reason why today, for me, this was such an important topic to talk about was because I've been doing the inner work for consistently for probably since the beginning of the year, where I really committed myself to that, and it has made such a big difference in my life. But the past month or so, I stopped doing the inner work. Like, things were going really good. Like, I was riding on that wave where I'm like, yes, things are good. My business, my relationship, like, things were great. And then that's where it can get really sneaky, because even when things are going great, there's always something that you can improve upon. It doesn't mean that you always have to be working, but there's always something to be like, okay, even if it's simple. But for that few weeks, for that almost month, I was riding the wave. I was feeling really, really good, and I ignored the inner work. I'm like, I'm good. Things are great. And then I realized for the past 2 weeks, I'm like, something is off. And then I'm like, Seth, you've completely abandoned your inner work. Not completely, but probably like 85%. So today, when I was thinking about like, okay, what topics can I share with you guys? I always want to keep it real and authentic with something that I'm going through or something that I've recently experienced. So today I bring you the inner work because I'm also calling myself out that it's time for me to get back to it. Like, it's nice to ride the wave for a couple of weeks, but don't get too confident on that wave, because right around the corner, there's going to be something else. So I always say, like, stay consistent in that work. That way things are continuously easy. And when you hit something that's hard, you don't dip all the way below. You're still neutral. So that's the beautiful benefit also of constantly doing the inner work. When you're constantly doing the inner work, you can ride right here and you're riding. You can go down a little bit and you continue. Where if you're not doing the inner work and you're like, whatever, things are great, and then something happens that's really hard, maybe again, a problem relationship or something with your job, it feels that it's gonna come out of nowhere and you dip really, you go down below, that's when everything goes to crap. So I'm a huge proponent of the inner work because I've seen it in my own life. The more consistent I am with things, when things come at me externally, I don't dip as low as I used to. So first part of the inner work, any questions? It seems like you guys, okay, if you have any questions, let me know. I want to move over to the second part of today, and then we're going to meditate. The second part of tonight is being in the flow. So how do you get in the flow? What does it mean to be in the flow? I think I've seen a lot of, sometimes on like Instagram, thank you, Mel. I love you. I'm so glad it's resonating with you as well. So the second part is being in the flow. So I feel like lately, maybe the past few months, the whole thing about being in the vortex or being in the flow, it's just become a little bit more mainstream, which I love because that means all these like spiritual teachings are getting out there. But sometimes they can be confusing too. If you're just entering this part of your journey, it's like, what does that even mean? Like, do I need to like get high? Do I need to do drugs? Like, what does it being in the vortex? What does it mean to be in the flow? It's none of those things. Although, if it is for you, I'm not judging. Basically, being in the flow, what that means is being in a place of alignment with the things that you want to attract in your life. So it's being in vibrational alignment. So I'll break that down even a little bit further. It basically, in layman's terms, I think that's what it is, layman's terms, is to feel good, to be in your highest alignment to feeling good. Because when you're in the flow, when you're flowing and you're in that state of feeling good, the things that you want will come into your life. And this could be anything from something material, like a cell phone or a computer, to something like a job, to a relationship. So let me explain you a little bit more what I'm talking about. So I'll give you an example. This is something else that I've seen a lot with my private coaching clients about finding the one. People want to find the person they want to spend the rest of their lives with. Of course, who wouldn't, right? So they come to me and they're like, I'm not happy. I don't feel good. I feel like I'm never going to find the one. What am I going to do? And it's almost like an energy of like desperation, an energy of neediness. Like, I'm never going to find that person. When you're in that energy, you probably will never find that person, or it's going to take you even longer to find that person. So let me explain to you that alignment. If you were to think right now, okay, I want to find my person. Once that happens, so this is where the assignment comes in. Once you get that thing into your life, the person of your dreams, the job of your dreams, the computer or the trip that you want to go on to, let's say that already happened and you already have that in your experience. How would you feel? So if you say right now, if I were to find my future husband or wife, I would feel fulfilled, I would feel in love, I would feel joyful. So you start thinking about all those things as if that already happened. And then what you do is you start doing the things that make you feel that way. So for example, what makes you feel joyful and fulfilled? Maybe going to a nice dinner with a friend, maybe going to the movies, maybe taking a walk in the park. We're all energy. So if those things make you feel fulfilled and joyful, it doesn't matter if it falls in the category of love. That it doesn't mean that because it's not in a love category, it doesn't mean that you're still not going to attract what you want. Does that make sense? So energy is energy, and joyfulness is joyfulness, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're not. It's you feel in joy. You're in a joyful state. So in order to attract the things that you want, you need to do the things that make you feel that way today. Otherwise, it's like imagine you're going on a road trip and you're thinking, okay, I want to go to California, and you're going to look up all the highways and all the streets to get to California. You're going to get easily from point A to point B that way. Otherwise, you can I live in New York City, I can just get in a car and eventually I will get to California, and it'll take me like 1,000 turns. I might get lost like 100 different times. Maybe 6 months from now, a year from now, I'll get to California. Hey, if you're in the mood for adventure, if you're in the mood for trial and error, if you're not in a hurry, then go on with your life without a roadmap. But if you're really wanting something an experience to come into your life, start thinking right now, how would that feel like if I already had that? Because that way you're not putting any conditions. You're just saying, I'm gonna be joyful and fulfilled today with what I have. This also applies to money. If you wanna make money, once that money is in my life, how would I feel? How would I show up? And you get yourself in the flow by doing those things. In the flow can be anything, again, from reading, going to the movies, sleeping in, cooking a home-cooked meal. So the important thing of this assignment is getting into the flow is just doing things that make you feel good. And then if you want to be specific, that you're like, okay, I have a goal in mind. This is what I want into my life. So again, in the goal of like, I want to be in a relationship, or I want to make this much money, or I want to have this kind of job. Then you narrow it down and you're like, these are 2 to 5 feelings. How would I feel once I have that? So how would I feel once I had my husband and my wife? How would I feel once I make that money? And then once you narrow down those emotions, it's like, okay, every day, look at those 5 emotions. What can I do today in this list of emotions to make me feel that way? That's it. And then you do those things that are fun, that are joyful, that are light. This is the last thing I will tell you, and then we'll meditate. If you are looking for a particular goal into your life, so let's say you want to work at this type of company, or maybe you want to move to Australia to have this really fun experience. Share those dreams with the people in your life that will cherish and support you unconditionally. So I always say, if you had a baby, or those of you that are on that have babies, but if you had a baby, you would be really careful who you're gonna leave your baby with, right? Your babysitter, your parents, or family members. You're super careful because it's a little baby, maybe like a month or 2 old, and you're extremely protective of that baby. So with you, treat that dream, treat that goal like a baby. You're not going to give it to anybody. So don't share that dream with people that are just going to be like, oh, that's so stupid, or you're never going to find that job, or you're never going to make that much money. When I first started thinking about quitting my job, I was at corporate for about 12 years, and I quit my job knowing what I wanted to do. I know I wanted to start my own business, being a coach and a healer, and I've been doing that for a few years, but I didn't necessarily have a lot of clients. I didn't. So there were certain people that I would tell them to, and they'd be like, are you sure? Granted, they were doing it for my best interest. Because yes, it's crazy to quit your job without, being financially stable. However, in my heart of hearts, I knew that I was going to be supported, and I knew that it was going to be a short-term sacrifice for a long-term happiness. But I didn't share that dream with the people that were not going to support me. First of all, it was none of their business. And second of all, I was so insecure about it back then that I didn't want to add more insecurity to my current insecurity. So I'll leave you with that little, wisdom tip. Whatever dreams you're working towards, only share with the people that will treat it like this precious baby and that will nurture that dream. Don't give it to people that are going to be talking shit about it, or they're not going to understand, or they're going to be realistic about things. Oprah wasn't real when she was the only black woman trying to be on TV that wasn't realistic. That was probably the craziest thing she could have done for her time. So if she would have listened to the people that said, are you crazy? You're a woman, you're color, you're going to be on TV, that's never going to happen. She wouldn't be the person that she is today. Right? So normally crazy dreams are not realistic. So share with the people that are going to support you, and the ones that don't, you can bless them, love them. You don't need to tell everybody everything. So any questions when it comes to that? Yes. Yeah, I know. Meet very soon. I love you, sis. All right, my friends. So if you have any questions, let me know, but we have a few minutes left, and I want to do our meditation. So this is our Zen Monday meditations. Let me look at the playlist. If you want to get comfortable wherever you're sitting or laying down, just get comfy. And let's end this beautiful Zen Mondays with a nice meditation to begin the week. Just feeling really good about ourselves, where we are in our lives, honoring whatever we're going through. Me too. I have a little beer. So do your little beer, your little wine. Do what you need to do and just relax. Let's take a gentle breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Take another gentle deep breath in. And if you feel comfortable, when you exhale, just gently close your eyes. Just continue breathing and just following the natural rhythm of your breath. Begin to slow down your body. Slow down your thoughts. Slow down your mind. And begin to tune in to that stillness within you, in your heart, in your body. Continue breathing in and out. Now I want you to focus on the beat of your heart. The beat of your heart is pumping in and out. And use that to ground you in this moment, right now, present with me. For a few minutes, just think about that one area in your life that feels a little bit down, that feels unclear to you. You might be feeling a little bit fear around it, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to make it better. Focus on whatever feelings are coming up for you. maybe pain, uncomfortableness, sadness, anxiety. Don't be afraid. Allow those feelings to come up. Allow those feelings to flow through your heart. Know that you are strong. Know that you are capable. Know that no matter what you're going through, you will be able to go through this right now. This is not the end. This is just an experience that you are having. Take a few seconds, and I want you to honor yourself. Honor what you're going through right now without any judgment, without any pain. These are feelings that you are feeling and emotions that you are experiencing. That is it. Now I want you to repeat after me in your head. I am willing to look at this different. I am ready to find a solution for this. I am determined to see this situation or this person in a different way. And just continue breathing. And notice the shift in your body, the energy in your body as it's shifting. As whatever you're going through right now, whatever feels painful, uncomfortable, challenging, is just temporary like everything. Feel that anchor within you, that divinity within you, that lets you know that you are always protected, that you are always guided, that you are always loved, that you're never alone, that you're always guided, and all you need to do is ask for help. All you need to do is be willing to see the situation different in order for the solutions and the help to come forth. Feel that energy within you and gently place a hand right on top of your heart. Continue feeling your heartbeat and feel so much gratitude for your heart that has been with you since the day you were born. It has never left you. It has always been there for you. So during this next upcoming week, whenever you're feeling down, sad, anxious, whenever the situation comes to mind, you can gently put your hand on your heart right at that moment when you're feeling fear or scared, and you can come back to this moment where we are today, where you're feeling your protection, where you're feeling guidance, where you're feeling that you are loved. And you can repeat in that moment anytime during the week, I am willing and ready to see this different. Now I just want you to visualize this beautiful bright light being wrapped all around your body as a beautiful shield of protection. Just a beautiful blanket with light that is covering, that is protecting you, and is full of love and light. Now you begin the week feeling protected, shielded, knowing that whatever you're going through, there is a solution and is within your reach. Let's take a gentle breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale all the way out. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hello, my sunshines. How are you guys feeling? That was so beautiful. I felt so much beautiful energy. So I hope that you are feeling centered. So glad, sis. I love you so much. I'm so glad you are here. So good. Listen, I'm also drinking a little beer. So cheers. My sister was with me earlier this week and it was so awesome. All right, my friends. So this is it. If you came halfway through or if you want to replay this again, it'll be live on Instagram for 24 hours, and then I'm uploading it to my YouTube. So you can find all my past Zen Mondays on YouTube. Just look up Stephanie Virchaux Zen Mondays or Zen Sundays. I used to do it on Sundays back in the day. But I love you. If you guys love this, come join me next Monday. I will be live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you need me, reach out if you need me. And also I am taking private coaching clients. So if you know of anybody that you think would love to work with me, DM me or text me or email me. If you love to work with me, let me know. I can share with you guys all the good things that I am doing the month of October. I love you guys so much. Have an awesome week. Follow your joy always and in all ways. Bye-bye, my friends. Love you guys.